Welcome to part 3 of the Which Dry Fire Simulator is Good for Me series. And the first one, there was the intro. The second one, we had games, and now we are coming over the simulators for marksmanship. For those that want to get better. Some of these you might have seen in the game selection. That's because they have drills that can also help with particular shot placement, reporting, and target transitions. In this section, we'll review the following products: the iDryFire, iMarksman 10 games, and Fast Draw game, or their simulator game. Shooting Soft 25 basic games, dryfireonline.com, and Laser Ammo's Smokeless Range, which was also covered in the games, and their open range. First off is the iDryFire simulator. This app will allow you to set up targets on the back wall, and you pretty much just point a web camera or their camera at it, and you use their software. So you just pretty much, and you can set it to a certain number of shots and seconds that you want to do, and then you can also have a timer and repeat the same drill over and over again. So you can have something like a bill drill set up, and with the limited number of shots, when you hit that last shot, it will stop the timer. And then you can also see how, if you start clicking on the screen, it will show you your first shot, your splits, and all the way up to the very end shot. You can also see if you're like jerking a bit with the laser. It's got some really good information out there to help you just try and make sure you got proper technique and grip, and you pretty much you are looking at your own shot alignment, but if it's shooting exactly where you think, you need to see it. So let's take a look at some of the iDryFire. For 2 years now, I mostly use it for miscellaneous pistol drills and fast draw for USPSA and IDPA. It's been a great training tool for my trigger control, my sights, and to see how if I'm jerking the gun on transitions or on trigger pull. It's a highly used product that I use pretty much 5 days a week, and I recommend it to anyone that wants to improve on their shooting. Next up is the iMarksman's Game Pack. This was covered in games, but there's at least 3 in this section that will help with shooting targets fast and deal with transitions and target identification. These will be the speed drill, the target jar, and the flying rings. A lot of these will, like the speed drill, will help you with just target identification, and same with the target jar, except the target jar will have smaller, bigger to smaller targets, where the speed drill is the same size target all the way around. And of course, the flying rings, that one, those targets, you're pretty much just trying to shoot a target that's moving. So, you'd have to aim ahead on the target, or lead the target and fire just to hit the target, and this comes in handy for a number of sports, or even just being able to shoot something that's moving. Let's take a look at those 3 simulators from the iMarksman games. Next up is the iMarksman Fast Draw. Fast Draw is a handy little simulator that will allow you to shoot at a steel plate when the buzzer goes off and record your first shot on draw time. This is handy if you want to get better in your first shot on the draw for IDPA, USPSA, or Cowboy Fast Action or Fast Draw practice. It's also something, if you wanted to, you could start practicing shooting at the hip for fun. But it will record your times over the entire sessions, or for a very long time until you tell it to clear, so you can see if you're getting better or if you're getting better and then you start to fall off.
It also allows you to go back and see where your shot placement was. So initially you can start off on the white, like, yeah, at least I'm hitting the plate, and then you can try and narrow it down to, like, I want to hit that yellow right in the center in that yellow spot. It's a very handy app that I use a lot next to the iDriveFire for first draw shot practice. So let's take a little look at the video for this. Now I'll take a look at some of the Shooting Soft's 25 basic games. This is another one that we've also seen in the game part, but it does also have some, at least the first 10 sections, like exercise 1 to 10, have some stuff that will at least allow you to shoot at it and see your groupings, and it helps with target transition. Even some of these targets will just appear at a different section. You got to shoot it, and at the end it will sum it up to show you, like, yeah, every time you at least hit in the black, or there's one stray on the white. Some of them also have little games where you can just quickly identify your target as it changes around the screen. So let's take a look at some of those exercises in the Shooting Soft 25 basic games. Another simulator for dry fire marksmanship is Dry Fire Online. This does have a number of pre-built stages that you can practice your general marksmanship, and even some stuff for certain competitions like GSSF, IDPA, Steel Challenge. It even allows you to create your own stages. At least in a flat plane area, you can do moving targets. It's very good for being able to, just set up a stage and practice some drills, and you can see your split time, the first shot, and the split times. One of the pluses about this is that you could use your phone. Use one of their apps for your iPhone or your Android, and you can use that as a camera to detect the laser. It also pairs up with the site, so a lot of this, of course, requires online access on your machine, but you put project on the wall, bring up a browser, and it will display the course of fire. Fairly easy to use. There's some videos out there on the whole review and setup process of it. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that can help you with marksmanship on dryfireonline.com. Next up is the Laser Ammo Smokeless Range, another one that was covered in games, but just like the iMarksman and the Shooting Soft, there are some stuff in here that will help you with target transition, moving targets, as well as static target that you can use to practice your general marksmanship. Some of these will be, like the speed drill, moving targets, the tracking drill, transition drill, even the matching target. Of course, also just a target shooting will allow you to have a static target up there, and you can, at buzzer, shoot at the IDPA target. You can also change targets on that and see the splits on that. So let's take a look at the Laser Ammo Smokeless Range. Next up is another simulator for marksmanship, the Laser Ammo Open Range. This is an add-on to the Smokeless Range, so but it also has a number of drills that come with it that will help with marksmanship and movement, or if you incorporate movement into it. On certain drills, move from engage 3 targets, move from one part to the other, engage them again. But so you can also create your own movement, and this also allows you to create your own stages. Some of the other things with the Open2 Media Manager, you can even import your own targets and do a drill and create your own drill using your own targets. If you have a drill book or see something on the internet, you can add that drill in there, and it's available for you to use. Let's take a look at some of the Open Range. So this concludes our simulators for marksmanship. As we went over, some of them can also be handy for games and for marksmanship. So next up on the next video, we will be covering the simulators for competition. So stay tuned for the next video.